I think Braveheart quoted it the best. Every man dies, not every man truly lives.
It's just true.
That's Gladiator. I might be wrong, but let me know, everybody. I kind of think that was William Wallace that said it. A little William Wallace. Ask away, everybody. Big Johnny here. He's going to take some time out for us.
Yeah. I mean, just some of the different things that are coming down the pipe for everybody, like AR-290. That's another big one. That's going to be another one that I'm going to be talking about a lot. It's a peptide that's in phase 3 trials right now. Just finished up. Got great research and clinical data behind it. But this is something that will change your metabolic system, and it will change the way that your body regulates sugar to a certain degree, which is super cool. What it does is it actually resets things, and it will help with neuropathy. So diabetic neuropathy, all these different things. Like if you have nerve damage, this will help rejuvenate the nerves in the body. So this is something to be added in with TB500, BPC 157, KPV, and then AR 290. Not only helping regulate sugars in the body, but actually helping with the nerves in the body. So when you damage something, right? Like let's say you hurt your elbow, your arm, you can have nerve damage too in the exact same place of where you hurt yourself. This repairs those nerve endings right at that spot where the inflammation, the problem is happening, which is super cool. This is something I'm gonna get put on my first order, so it just came in stock, and that's gonna be another game changer for sure, guys.
Cool.
1,000,000%.
So you said a couple things that it does there. So it would help with somebody that has a problem with high A1C. Would that be
it will help regulate sugars? Yeah, it will help. Now, maybe not as good. I got to see if it compares like a GLP-1 with metformin or something like that. But I mean, from the data, it looks very promising.
And then it would possibly help somebody, obviously, from a minor injury or some nerve damage.
Or even major injury. Yeah, major injury, nerve damage. That's another big one. And neuropathy pain. So if you have, diabetics, right? Because their sugar levels are spiked like that. What happens is they start getting pain in their feet, in their hands, and this is neuropathy. It's neuropathy pain, right? This is nerves. So at this point, this will actually help that too as well, which is super, super cool. For healing, all in general, I mean, it's going to be a game changer. That's one.
Right.
The other one that just came out like yesterday, and I'm getting it shipped to me. I got my prescription. So that is it's 5-amino-1-MQ injectable.
Okay, so jump back just so these guys understand what that is.
Sure. So 5-amino-1-MQ is a peptide too as well. And what it does is it locks the NMNT. So it's basically a lock on your fat storage in your body that does not get released. And this will uninhibitedly release that fat storage. So it's super cool. This one's been paired up with a number of different things like GLP-1, Sloop. There's a big rise in 5-amino-1-MQ, but it's only been taken orally from what we've been doing, from pharmacy. So it's been oral. You would take that twice a day. Now you're going to have an injectable, which is going to be a game changer. We know injectables, obviously, higher absorbency, better transportation rate. So anything we can do injectables on and still be safe with patients are going to be a winner.
I haven't talked to our bodybuilding attorney on the FDA, but it seems as though, and correct me where we are with this, because there was we got Kennedy out there running the ship, and I know Kennedy's a big believer in longevity.
Yep.
But he actually understands what longevity is relative to before. Also, he's not out there to make money. So he's trying to make the FDA or whoever governs, who really governs this, really governs it, to try to be a little bit more legit and helpful. So is there not a ban, or is it not going to be shut down, peptides? Where are we with that? We kind of just over that because it was a huge
I
This is
know.
going down, nothing. And now it's like I haven't heard anything. So I don't know where that is at.
I know. So let me tell you, because I got some inside information for sure from Kennedy, from Washington, the whole nine. I got a guy that's on their committee on Kennedy's health committee, and this has been an issue because he's been bringing it up to them. Obviously, there was, I don't know, before they tried to ban all peptides and say they were going to hurt everybody, right? The FDA came out and just banned all peptides, so all pharmacies just stopped making peptides. Then all of a sudden, the new administration comes in, Kennedy comes in, things start changing. Actually, things just got dropped. Nobody's been doing anything, and that's why you haven't heard anything about it. But there's a big push from my people into there that's saying, "Hey, listen, we have to have some sort of structure here," because what they really did was they opened up the floodgates for all these research chemical sites, and that's why you see every influencer. I got my own brand, I got my own peptide, like, and they're not worried about it. They're gonna be worried about it soon enough, guaranteed. Because what's happened previous was they did shut down some of the big research chemical sites. What they're doing right now is they're getting with the senators and everything like that, and they're going to make some sort of structural bill to regulate peptides, because that's the thing. Peptides are the big thing, but now everybody's buying peptides from who knows where. They're going online, they're buying it from the cheapest site they can find it on. Who knows what that is? Who knows what that's going to do to somebody at that point, right? So there's some major concerns there. I know in Washington they are talking about it, so they're getting things ready. It just takes the lip. It's a lot slower in Washington. It really is. Like you deal with some of those guys, they don't really care.
Let me understand this. So there was a time there a year ago or so, they were going to
Yep.
shut it down completely,
Yep.
and pull the stuff off the market. And
Yep.
then not only is that not going to happen now, but it's actually opened the floodgates to where it sounds like a plethora of people can come in now and start their own things.
Mhm.
And then now it's the regulating of them, but you can get them. That's not
Yep.
an issue. But now you
Yep.
want to make sure that you're getting them from the right place
That's correct.
relative to, because it's not governed
Right.
or regulated.
Right.
So now we fall into that position like the vitamins for, and still, I think vitamins are still that way where they're not really governed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm correct on that. That's kind of how it's
Yeah.
going.
You're absolutely correct on that. There is legislation getting placed, though. They are working on it. So it's not like before it was abandoned. It was almost like abandoned because there was just so many different things they were trying to get a hold of before that. So, obviously this emerging thing with, because it was never like this where you go online and like you would doom scroll per se, and that's all you see. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Mary on there talking about it, this, that. And like where were these people like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? They weren't around because they have no knowledge, basically. It just is what it is. So we'll see it, but new peptides will be coming out. I guarantee that, and there will be some regulations. So hopefully people won't have to try to vet people out per se of who's good and who's bad, because at that point there will be some regulation in place.
So then now, okay, great that it's open from what I understand. So
Yeah.
you can get peptides. Now the individual has to find out who they're actually receiving it from relative to Bobby Joe from the gym started a website and he's
Right.
doing it, and,
Right.
and the stuff's not going. So what's your recommendation on the breakdown of them going, okay, I want to get the real stuff that's been tested compared to bath water? I
Yeah.
guess it's the old school
No.
thought. So what are some tips from John Titan Medical
Sure.
and how you get your peptides
Sure.
relative to how a lot of companies are doing that?
Sure. So most places out there, most people out there that are doing this, your influencers or ads, whatever it is, they're getting these peptides from China. And at that point, they get a shipment of these things. And China is not stupid. They have storage places over here and they have warehouses that have stacks of this stuff in it. And at that point, if you order statewide, it's going to come from state. But at that point, it's really from China. And basically what these guys are doing are just relabeling, reshipping out, and that's it. They collect payment, done deal. The problem is that none of those people really know what to do. For example, there are gym owners in this area that are starting to have their own peptide line. And some of these guys are online, like they're starting talking about like oh, you can leave out your peptides for days and not have any degraded medication. Well, that's false. I mean, you leave out your medication for so long, especially some of these sensitive peptides, there could be some damage that does happen. So this is just one prime example. So you're not going to get any medical advice, or you shouldn't be if they are giving it out, from any of these places. That's why none of them have phone numbers for you to call and be like, hey, how do I use this? Is this the correct dose? And what's going to happen here? I mean, they'd be crossing the line medically, and it would be illegal for them to do that. But that's one thing. I mean, I would look at somebody's getting US licensed pharmacy compounded peptides. And that's the best way to do it. And to vet that out, you would have to make sure that on the label, it's obviously a prescription that's coming in a prescription bottle with your name on it. And then on the bottle, it's not going to have like for not human use, not human consumption, physician use only, any of these things. I would watch out for it and not have them on your vial. You know, I would stay away from sites where you can get Retta for $20 a vial. Some guy told me I'm getting Retta for $20 a vial. I go, great. I'm like, do you really think it's that cheap? Like, honestly, I have to like put it back in somebody's court, and they don't know the testing. Like, do you think the testing it would be even that inexpensive? If the testing was done. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. So, you know, it's just it's something that people have to be diligent about. They're going to go through a medical provider. Think about this. And I was talking to somebody about it because one of my doctors like, hey, he's like, but look at this site. They have this. I go, great. I was like, can you click on that, put it in the cart, and check out? Yeah. I go, do you think that's right? Not having a medical provider, no medical information, no health information on the patient or person, and we just send a vial out? How much money do you think Tight Medical Center could make if we just did that? Think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
so if it's too good to be true, it usually is. Okay. So at that point, you know, just be smart because you're literally like you're dealing with yourself. You're dealing with your own health. You're injecting your own body. You're taking these things. So you're ultimately going to have to deal with whatever issues or problems might occur, or nothing occurs and you just wasted your money. Or maybe you found the needle in the haystack and it works great. But majority of people out there are wasting money. They have no idea what they're injecting or putting in their bodies, and I don't know why they don't care. They don't care if they see something on a food ingredient list, or let's say a McDonald's hamburger. That's unhealthy for you, but they will go and inject something they have no idea where it comes from. Makes no sense. None.
John, let me jump from there because Titan Medical helps people, and it's a inside of the body, making sure it's healthy. But I get asked a lot a basic question. I think you can answer this the very best for everybody out there.
Sure.
Titan Medical, Big John, what is the age that somebody can look into doing TRT?
So it's usually 21. 18-year-olds, we do accept this patient for peptides and stuff like that, but usually 21 is right. We're going to look at it. Doesn't mean you're going to get testosterone 21. It might be in clomiphene if you're naturally low and there's need for it, obviously. But it's something we don't like to put a younger guy on right away. See if we can get his numbers back up on clomiphene. Maybe jolt the testes to do themselves. But 21 is the starting age where we would look at it and say, hey, listen, there might be a problem here.
Here's another one for you, Big John. Minor injury. What peptides do you think I should do? And how long do I do them for minor injuries?
Sure.
I've heard of the Wolverine stack.
Yep. I would look at the Wolverine stack, BBC TB500, BBC 157 TB500. We also have the recovery stack, which has KPV in it, which is another one. And we have another one with copper and GHKCU. So, for this one, very minimal, I would say BPC 157 TB500. I would use this between probably about 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks is normal as far as that goes. And you should see some good progression as that time goes on. Mike, are you there? Hello? All right, I'm going to jump off then, and I'll jump right back on.